Grace and peace, you guys. Welcome back to Unshakable with April Chapman, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I'm your host, April Chapman, and welcome to today's show. So, you guys, I'm back, and on my first day back, I figured it'd be a good idea for me to do a reaction video and to respond to the Puerto Rican princess, the Boricua from the Bronx, but not really Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah, we need to deal with her inflammatory and threatening statements on those of us who live down here in the South. I'm from the Bronx, not Bronxville, not Westchester, not Yorktown. I am actually from the Bronx. So I figured, you know what? Let me attempt to mediate this conflict here, being that I am a third generation New Yorker. Both of my parents were born in New York City, and so were my mama's. No, that's not true. My mother's mother was born in Virginia. And so, I guess that's Southern. I said, let me be the one to try to mediate this because I'm from the Bronx, actually, and I live here in the South. I've been down here about 30 years. So I said, let me mediate because baby girl, she didn't really know what she was saying. And I'm not here to try to, kind of be the person in the schoolyard that kind of jumps in front so that the little girl who can't fight but got all the mouth don't get beat up. I'm not that person. But I figured in the spirit of peace, before she really F around and find out, I figured let me go ahead and try to set the record straight for Miss Cortez so that she doesn't actually get herself hurt. Figuratively, of course. As you know, this is just satire, right? Because clearly the things that AOC said down in Montgomery, Alabama, she didn't really mean it literally. Now, did she? I mean, I don't know. Who's to say? But first of all, let's go ahead. You guys have probably already heard what AOC said, but I want you, for added emotional effect, I want you guys to hear it yourselves in her own words, and then we're going to engage with it. Take a listen to this.
Here today because I want to make sure that we all understand that Montgomery is not alone, that you all are not alone. And for all of those watching today, when they ask, what do we do in this moment? I feel helpless. What action can I take? It is time for the North to pull up to the South. It is time for New York to pull up to Alabama. It is time for all of us to come to Georgia, to Louisiana, to Tennessee, to Mississippi, and let them know exactly what they have uncorked with this injustice. They think they can draw us out of power. They do not know the sleeping giant that they just awakened.
No, AOC, let me help you. It's not that we think that we can draw you melanated, Marxist-minded Negroes out of power. We actually did draw you out of power. See, the way this works, AOC, first of all, can we just give her a round of applause? Oh, is she cute? Is she cute? Like, so AOC came down to Montgomery, Alabama, and as this carpetbagger, given this speech conveniently behind a bulletproof glass. I thought the imagery of that was really incredible. That you could talk all big and bad as long as you are behind bulletproof glass. But she's down here in Alabama talking about what the Supreme Court has done legally, which was examine the fact that down here in the South, we've been drawing our congressional districts on the basis of ethnicity. And since you claim to be the party of civil rights, you would think that the party of civil rights would be like, well, hold on, wait a minute. That's not fair. We don't want to be judged by the color of our skin, but rather we wanted to be judged by the content of our character. And you wanted, y'all fought and wanted integration so bad. Well, here you go. See, isn't it amazing that they only want integration that is performative, but they don't really actually really want integration. See, this is not about ethnicity. I need you guys to understand. They are only claiming that this is Jim Crow 2.0 and this is racism and this is voter suppression. They're only using that because they know that that is the best way to get Black folks emotionally outraged and engaged. Democrats are using this messaging and this language in order to distract you from the fact that this is another Democrat power grab. Now, first, a few things that we need to just get straight. No one down here in the South has ever said anything to you Yankees and New Yorkers. I'm a Yankee too. So when I say that, I'm not trying to be offensive. It's a colloquialism that we use to refer to people from north of the Mason-Dixon line. Jersey, Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, all of these northern states are gerrymandered so much you can't gerrymander them anymore. Nobody down here ever said anything. We didn't roll up to the north, talking about the South about to invade the north and make y'all do what we want you to do. No, we kind of let y'all have it. So now AOC claims that the North needs to pull up on the South because she says we think that we can draw Democrats out of power. Well, yes, we can and we have. And it has nothing to do with racism. But what is happening is your Jerome Crow politics is being exposed. Jerome Crow is Jim Crow in blackface, okay? Basically, they done put a Latina out here to spout the talking points of segregation and oppression and Jim Crow and slap that on the Democrat Marxist grab for power. That's what this is.
The great psychiatrist Carl Jung said, "It is not what happens to me, it's what I choose to become."
I'm not trying to scare nobody, but we are in danger.
In Slavery is a Choice, we ask the question, do you choose to be free or do you choose to be a slave?
So you feel like a victim?
I'm a victim. I'm a victim of white supremacy.
And so are they holding you back financially?
Well, they can.
Most Black people sit at the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in America because we still deal with the same slave mentality that says, I had no choice.
Those of us that now insist that we're no longer being oppressed and that it's ourselves that are now our worst enemies are in fact gullible, naive, and are ignorant of the true reality.
If you walk around saying that you're oppressed, you're not a man. And you're not an American. When you say you're oppressed, I'm saying you're an heir of Jesus Christ, you're a child of God. Nobody can oppress you.
Our religious heritage is rooted in the regrettable experience of slavery.
And I'm scared. Scared.
When you talk about the vestiges of slavery, that is the vestige of it. A mentality that says, I cannot change my plight. I cannot change my life. I have no choice. The man who says he is free and the man that says he is a slave are both correct. Slavery is a choice.
So let me just help. Like I said, I want to mediate this because AOC comes down here talking about the North needs to roll up on the South and to essentially set us straight, since we've begun redistricting our maps. And the only thing I could say is bless her heart, bless her little thumping gizzard, as my grandmama used to say. First of all, I'm from the Bronx. Now, I ain't from the government, but I am here to help. I have been a resident of this state since 1997. And then just a few things that I've learned about living in the South that conveniently you don't learn these things until you've been down here a while. But let me tell you one thing. Southerners we don't play this. And I'm saying we because I'm a Southerner now. My children were born and raised down here in the South. First of all, down here, we have cockroaches and mosquitoes who will handle AOC well before we even get a chance to. Okay, the cockroaches and these mosquitoes alone, she don't want these kinds of problems. Okay, this is the South. All right, we love God, guns, and football. We're very simple people. Look, we love God, like I said, but we got a whole lot of guns. And we love our football and our sweet tea, and we're just like, just leave us alone. And also, what AOC doesn't understand is people down here in the South, black and white. Okay, look, we keep Jesus in our heart, but that 9mm stay on the hip. There's not a Southern Baptist church that you can go into where at least over 60 to 70% of the men in attendance don't have a firearm on them. Now, the black churches are a little different because they've been preaching gun control in the black community for so long that they don't even understand how to function in their freedom and exercise their 2A rights. But in the white church, AOC, I'm telling you, don't come down here talking crazy. You will find out very quickly that fat meat is absolutely greasy. Look, I'm telling you what I know. I don't go nowhere without my 9mm, and my husband sure doesn't. It is a way of life for us to pack heat. So if me, just a middle class black person, packs heat, then add your Christian white conservative man, then you got your redneck, then you got there's levels. There's levels to this, AOC. Listen, and we ain't even talking about the YNs who they don't even know what the political argument is about. They just want to get into something. Okay, they they do it for sport. Okay, all we got to do is put a battery in their back and tell them go hunt, and they're like, oh, okay. And I ain't talking about for deer meat. Okay, we're not down here in the South. We're not about to let some paper straw drinking, climate change hoax screaming Boricua from the Bronx, but not really, because she's not really from the Bronx. She's from Yorktown, okay? We're not about to let somebody like that come down here and threaten to pull up on us. Ma'am, this house alone got way too many guns that you can't even count. So we don't take too kindly to anyone coming down here to tell us what to do. Okay, we don't tell you how to run your feces-laden subway pea-stinking city with all your crackhead and homeless people that is running the show and all the crime. We don't tell y'all what to do. Okay? If you really cared about your people, you would be focused on improving your own trash district as opposed to coming down here trying to tell us what we need to do with ours. But I'm telling you, Southerners do not respond well to threats. Okay, we're not the compliant MTA riding city dwellers that just allow you to do what you want to do. That's not going to happen. We take our Second Amendment right very seriously. Okay, listen, one thing I learned about being down here in the South is the people down here will shoot you and just tell God that you died. Like they be like, yeah, he died. That's just how it's going. That's how it's going down. They will just bury you somewhere in a swamp and then go get up and go to church the next morning like nothing happened. They absolutely will. So I'm telling you, AOC, you need to leave the South alone. We are not bothering you. Okay, y'all have y'all deep blue districts up there. Nobody came up there starting anything with y'all. So I don't know. It must have been Raphael Warnock, because I was about to say, I don't know who up there in the Congressional Black Caucus, okay, done pumped you up and had your chest feeling big and put you up to giving this speech behind that bulletproof glass talking with your chest puffed out, but I told you, we love God, we love our guns, and we love football. Okay? And we will punch you on up out of here and have you floating in the Long Island Sound before sundown if you come down here with them threats again. Okay? I'm just letting you know. These are not the kinds of problems that you want. But more importantly, as someone from the North, I figured, let me jump ahead of this and just try to mediate this because she don't know no better. Okay, she has people in her ear, okay, telling her that we need you to come down here and help campaign for us. And she doesn't know the audience. She doesn't know the crowd. She thinks because she can put a little Black Baptist preacher homiletic twist to her voice, and as long as she's behind this bulletproof glass, that it's all good. And here's the deal. This type of rhetoric works with some, okay, of the Black community down here in the South. Okay, because y'all ain't gonna like this. It's gonna be real offensive, but there is an older, inferior-minded Black constituency that's gonna vote blue no matter who, that because of their emotional connection to the Jim Crow South and because of male cowardice and an inferiority complex, they will listen to her words, okay, and feel some sort of empowerment from it. But there's a new crop of Negro down here, okay, like me and my contemporaries and my peers, that we're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, we already know the truth about who you are. We've been living in your Black run districts for over 20 some odd years, and we know what it's like to live under your reign of terror. And we are actually glad that your power grab has ended and that you have to come and actually compete for the vote. Oh, absolutely. No, we want y'all voted out. We already know that there's nothing effective about the Congressional Black Caucus. So many Black conservatives we can't be a part of the Congressional Black Caucus. That just lets you know that this, it's not about racism. It is all about ideology for the Black Democrat. But I wanted to highlight the statements that AOC made here. And I kind of wanted to mediate just a little bit to explain I'm not apologizing on her behalf because whatever she gets, she gonna get it coming to her. But what I would like to say is she don't know no better. Somebody in the Congressional Black Caucus put her up to this. Okay, they are making her the sacrificial lamb with this inflammatory, threatening rhetoric. And she doesn't have a clue what she is saying, nor does she really mean it. I am telling you, AOC cannot carouse enough people to pull up on the South, okay? Listen, let me tell y'all a story. Let me tell you how I know she don't want this smoke with the South. Several years ago when I had my furniture store, and we had rented a 26-foot truck from Enterprise Rent-A-Car. It was a straight truck. And we were doing some deliveries for Aaron's corporation. And one of my drivers fell asleep at the wheel and got into a really, really bad car accident down in South Georgia, Cordele, Georgia, 75 South. I'll never forget this day. We drive down to Cordele, and when we get there, the 75 is shut down. Police are there. The sheriff is there. And the ambulance is there. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, Lord, how they gonna clear this 26-foot straight truck off the highway? I mean, it was just mangled up. It was on its side. It was just jacked up. Well, I looked, and there was this tow truck company that had a flatbed trailer, not a flatbed trailer, one of those flatbed tow trucks where it's just the flatbed and it can tow well, I looked to see who's driving it because I thought I was seeing, like, I was like, okay, what I just saw, I really didn't see. I look in the driver's side of this straight bed tow truck, and it's a kid driving it. I lie to you not. The only thing that was missing was a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. This little boy, this little white boy, was whipping this flatbed trailer like he'd been driving this thing since he was 4. And there was an adult man kind of, directing him, trying to lead, back up a little bit. He's like, stop. Little buddy hops out. He's shorter than me, and I'm 5'2". And so I asked the older white gentleman, I was like, how old is he? And he was like, oh, he's 11. I said, y'all just let him drive the tow truck? He was like, oh, he been driving that since he about 6. And the sheriff, like the police, like this is an active accident scene and police are on the scene. And it was an 11-year-old driving this flatbed trailer or tow truck. That's the kind of stuff we deal with down here in the South. Okay, look, these people was bred and raised to be about that life. God, guns, and glory. Football, shooting, hunting. I mean, 4-wheelers, ATVs. Look, these kids are built different. They grow up knowing how to slay dragons out the womb. Okay, I'm telling you what I know. There are little kids down here that know how to shoot an AR-15. They have killed their first bear before they are in middle school. So if you think you're going to come down here and threaten folks in the South and tell Northerners, okay, who drink oat milk lattes out of paper straws to pull up on the South, how you think that's going to end up? Do you really think this is going to be a fair fight? Now, hear me clean. I'm not advocating violence. And I'm telling y'all this story because I need y'all to understand how asinine and ridiculous AOC sounds and how culturally unaware she is about how we do life here. On top of the fact that let's just look at how many of her constituents have left her deep blue district to move down here to the South because they like how we live down here. They like how we say yes, ma'am, no, sir, good morning, have a good one. They like, there's just some cultural things, the niceties of Southern life that they like. They like the fact that they got a little land, we got some trees and some oxygen. They can actually breathe some fresh air. It's good for the asthma. I mean, there's just so many benefits and reasons why people from the North have moved down here to become Southerners. So I don't think this tension, this North versus South animosity that you're trying to create, I don't think it's a wise tactic. On top of the fact that you really don't understand how we do things down here in the South and how there are just some cultural distinctives. Let me tell you something. I've never experienced racism down here in the deep South the way I have experienced it from the white liberal. Look, these good white Southern folks ain't never had no problems with them. Some of my strongest allies and people who have had my back, helped me in my business, helped watch my children, with some good old Southern white feet. Listen, don't try to create no problems where none exist. We are just fine. Yeah, I'm sure there might be some sundown towns around here somewhere, but I ain't never experienced them. And just because my experience, I'm not saying that is a lived reality. It doesn't matter, because in a sundown town, they got their guns and I got mine. May the best man win. Okay, may the best man win. The point we're making, or the point I'm making, is we are getting along down here just fine. The reason why those districts are being broken up, because we are sick of your progressive sexual perversion, and your Marxism has now infiltrated the South, and we have given you way too much ground, and enough is enough, and we want you out. And the fact that y'all put these black folks up to pushing that rhetoric and pushing that progressivism and pushing that sexual perversion on us, we don't give a darn if they're black. We want them voted out. They've destroyed so many of the Democrat strongholds down here are getting worse, and it's destroying the rest of the state. Atlanta is infecting the rest of the state, and we're done. Montgomery's probably experiencing the same thing, all that progressive foolishness. And folks, Southerners who are true to the Southern way of life, we don't want that anymore. So if that means that we got to break up these Democrat strongholds to get the Marxists out, so be it. Ma'am, I'm just saying, leave these people down here alone. They are not bothering you. They just want to live their lives and worship their God and mind their business. They just want the government to leave them alone. Do not come down here with your Marxist agitation, all that foolish marching. I'm telling you. I mean, look, you don't want them hoses. You don't want them dogs. You don't want these kinds of problems, lady. I really need you to rethink your life choices and take your behind right back to your district. Go on there and go mess with them prostitutes back up there at Hunts Point somewhere, okay? But leave the South alone. Go be ambitious and pick another struggle, because this one is not the struggle and these are not the problems you want. But I'm curious to know, you guys, what is it that you guys think? Do you believe that AOC coming down here to the South with all that air on her chest, saying the things that she was saying, do you believe that she actually means it? Or do you believe that she thinks that she can actually convince people down in Alabama that this is some sort of repressive, Jim Crow 2.0, or is the truth about the maps down in the South and how each of these states are redistricting, not on the account of race, but breaking up these districts so that these Black Democrats, they actually have to compete for the vote? Do you believe that it is about race, or you realize it's not about race and they're just mad that they're losing their power? So they're so desperate that they went ahead and got this brain dead moron to come down here and give a speech. And somehow they thought it was going to be effective. But whatever it is that you guys think, leave me your comments down in the box below. And until next time, you guys, stand firm, stay bold, and above all else, stay unshaken. Grace and peace.